Oh, I don't like that. That's too
too
forceful.
Too much?
Too forceful. I'm not a fan of that.
Too much.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome to another
everybody.
episode of Good Willow Hunting. This is the Ramble Presents Good Willow Hunting, where Eddie and I try to make Cody a legitimate film critic by having him watch legitimate
RoboCop.
films like G.I. Joe, the animated film.
Transformers,
The animated film, or RoboCop.
Exorcist 3.
Or Exorcist 3. By the way, do us a favor. Don't just stand here and look at us. There's
No.
something you could be doing when you're done with this.
Right, what?
You could run over.
Uh-huh.
Is it magically flashing before us? Hemp?
It is now.
Ooh, hempvita.com. Right there.
Right there.
It's CBD shit. It's good shit. Good CBD
it's the best
shit
CBD stuff.
I've ever had. All the products, the tinctures, the gummies, the vape juice, the
Right.
vape pops, the
Right.
pep products, the lotions.
You know why it's so good?
Why is that?
Because it's the broadest spectrum you can get.
CBD, right?
It's the broadest spectrum CBD.
It's got to be THC in it, right, Eddie?
Yeah, what doesn't have THC? What
No.
what hemp product doesn't have THC in it?
This stuff. Look at
What?
that. You can cross state lines with this shit,
Really?
baby. How about that? And now, of course, you're thinking that combustibles, the flowers and the pre-rolls must be loaded with
95%
THC.
THC.
0.3%. Less than 0.3%.
Wow.
Hempvita. Oh, my God. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hempvita will only use industrial hemp grown in the...
USA!
is organic.
USA!
No GMOs.
Oh, tough guy.
And the CBD is legal and will not get you high. All of that. This is the part where Cody comes in because Cody already, I mean, we can already see the boners, like the little priest and Little
Right.
Mermaid. We can see the boners shooting through from the computer. All of Hempvita's products meet the 2018 Farm Bill, which is signed into law December of
Right.
2000. See here?
You're on camera. Cody.
Yeah, Cody,
Just
watch
remember
out.
that.
Do we need to cut away? Effectively.
Not from the waist down.
We
I'm
got
good.
it.
All right. Effectively legalizing hemp at the federal level by removing it from the federal list of controlled substances and classifying it as agricultural
I don't know if you
commodity.
guys know this, but they actually did it was a top 10 list
Yes.
on the most erotic pieces of nonfiction ever
Oh,
written.
really?
And the 2018 Farm Bill came in second.
What?
I know. I was shocked too. I was like, how is that not the number one
Number
piece
one in our house.
of most erotic nonfiction ever written?
Jeez.
I think I know what was number one.
What was that?
You have that Schmerelson flyer there?
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
The Schmerelson
Damn
flyer.
it. That, with
That's
him,
probably-
that's right.
That would be the most erotic.
That's
piece
got to
of
be. You're
nonfiction
Cody,
ever
good
written.
call.
True.
You're very good call. And if you go to hempvita.com and use the promo code RAMBLE, R-A-M-B-L-E, you get 15% off.
Ramble, right?
R-A-M-B-L-E. R-A-M-B-L-E.
Ramble.
Ramble.
Right. You
There
get how
go.
much?
15%
Wow.
off.
How much do you put the Ramble?
Zippo.
Okay.
A big fat nothing.
0%.
0% off.
So you might want to
please.
use Ramble.
I would use Ramble.
That's
That'd
probably
be
the one
my
to go with.
suggestion. So Sean Williams took us to task. Apparently,
We have to do a correction.
we have to
for,
do a correction.
for last week's Good Willow
yes,
Hunting.
we kept calling from G.I. Joe the movie. We kept calling Falcon Flint,
right.
and it was actually
Well,
Falcon.
see, in my head, I thought it was Falcon, or I
Same
thought
here.
it was Flint,
Right.
and then because that's why it's like, oh, he's dating Lady J. And you're
Right.
like, no, that's Jinx. And I'm
Jinx.
like, well, Jinx didn't date
Falcon?
Flint.
Right.
And then you called it. Then you called Flint Falcon. I was okay, or Flint
Falcon Flint.
And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I must have been wrong. It was Falcon.
We fucked it all up.
right. We all fucked
So
it up. So it wasn't
Falcon,
Flint. It was
It was
Falcon.
Falcon that Don Johnson
Falcon
portrayed.
and Jinx boned.
Jinx. And now here's the reason we said that. They look the fucking same.
They both wore the berets.
They both
right?
have the beret. They both have the camo shirt. I think
Yeah.
even they're the
Pretty
same
close.
fucking
It's pretty
toy.
close.
So anyway,
But it does make sense why Don Johnson wasn't doing Flint voice.
right.
In the
but
later
was he
TV
doing
episodes.
Falcon? I don't,
I
did
don't
he
think
even have Falcon?
Falcon ever show up again?
They just kind of were done with him. Like, all right, we're done with this guy. We don't need him anymore. I don't remember Falcon ever being a major player.
Before we start into RoboCop, can we
Yes.
go down the list of couples in G.I. Joe?
yes,
Just to
Cody,
get that-
very important.
This is so we had Falcon and Jinx,
Falcon and Jinx for sure fucked.
definitely fucked,
Baroness and Destro for sure fucked.
absolutely fucked, and then you had Lady J and Flint,
Falcon, Flint.
Fucked.
Lady Jane Flint for sure fucked.
and then it's always been curious to me was Scarlet, what her situation.
See, I
was.
thought she was Duke's lady.
I do too, but she also had something going with Snake Eyes.
Maybe, and you're thinking it might have been a three-way.
I'm thinking like maybe because
Right.
Snake Eyes had all those injuries.
Yes.
Maybe he had his penis burned off.
And so,
So maybe they have the emotional connection.
right.
And then Duke
Duke
and
is there for
Scarlet
the dick.
have the physical. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's into Duke for the dick while Snake Eyes watches and cries.
Because his dick is gone, maybe.
But for the pillow talk afterwards, Duke beats it.
Oh, he's out.
And then Snake Eyes cuddles in
absolutely.
bed and
yeah,
they can-
that's real love. And then you also hinted that Dr. Mindbender might have been getting a little Baroness action, you think?
I think Baroness wasn't too loyal to anybody. I think she she played the field in Cobra.
Yeah.
I think she might even had a thing with
Serpentor probably fucked her.
Serpentor, Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
I think she kind of had her way around Cobra.
I could see that. Maybe she fucked a Joe or two.
I wonder if she fucked those twins.
Yeah,
Tamox
and Zaymot or whatever. Yeah.
I mean, once you got the twins, that's
it.
That's the crown jewel,
That's
right?
That's it.
You fucked the twins.
Done it.
And Zartan, that was his sister.
Yes. Zatanna,
and they fucked.
What was her name? Zatanna?
Zatanna, and they fucked.
Zarana?
Because they're swamp trash.
They're swamp trash. They obviously fucked.
So they totally fucked.
So now we know. There it is.
We know.
We've
That's
got
all out in the
our
open
recap of G.I. Joe. The end. And now we go straight to RoboCop. One of my favorite as a kid movies. And I didn't get it for what it was as a kid. I just thought it was this awesome story about a guy who got turned into a robot cop.
I got it because I saw. I'm a little bit older. I'm a few years older than you. I remember my dad took me to see this movie in the theater when we were on vacation.
You got the dark comedy
and
make fun of the 80s.
I remember watching the movie, and I thought going in it was like an action movie.
Right.
And then the audience was laughing at all the joke, at all the dark comedy and all that stuff. And so I was like, I got a sense of like, okay, this is actually kind of one of my first introductions into dark comedy.
Same here, because my dad, it was on video. My dad, the second time I saw it when we rented it, was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
He was like laughing at all. Like the opening scene, the newscast.
Yeah.
When they show a mutilated cop, like his bloody 90% dead body, and then the fucking newscasters, good luck, Frank.
Yeah.
like you know, like that.
People in the audience were laughing
Frank.
in the theater. I'm like, okay, this isn't a normal action movie.
This is not. And then the fucking the commercial for the heart transplant that you see right at the beginning, like we have your new speed heart, like all the different hearts, and then the doctor just looks at the camera. We care. Like it was okay, you know this is not a typical act. That's what I loved. And then of course, like this idea has now run rampant with the fact that a corporation just takes over the police.
Yeah.
And is like, here, we're gonna do this.
We can do this better than
the
government.
We're just gonna own the police department.
But the problem is that once you get business involved, it becomes about a bottom line thing.
Right. And so there was a lot of shitting on capitalism. Anyway, Cody, start going. This was your first time. We're just memories here of the way we were. This was Cody's first. Now you saw the remake, right?
I did see the remake.
Now I haven't seen the second of it. Is there any?
I saw it.
Yeah. Is there any kind of same thing where they're making fun of modern society in the remake? Like this made fun of? No. They just try to make a legit action movie.
Yeah, it's pretty literal.
Right.
There's no tongue in cheek.
There's no tongue in cheek. Okay, all right, interesting.
In the original one, it's all tongue in cheek.
It's all tongue in cheek. Yeah. Yes, the whole thing.
They knew how ridiculous this was.
They knew how crazy and stupid this idea was.
Right down to the name RoboCop.
RoboCop. I mean, they just knew. All right, so anyway, Cody, go for it. Shoot, let's do it.
This is going to be an interesting one to talk about.
All right.
Because I don't necessarily. Okay, so you know how sometimes there's a movie where you're like, I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong, but I know that it's not for me.
Sure.
That was my RoboCop experience. Where
like you could see where the praise would be shown upon it, but it just still didn't.
Yeah.
It's like it's like an Yngwie Malmsteen solo. Like you can tell this guy can fucking play guitar, but I don't want to hear a whole record of this. Is that kind of it? Is that like the
sort of, because I was going back and forth between, because I had to figure it out first,
right?
Because you have to figure out how aware of itself it is.
Yes.
And then I think it becomes pretty clear relatively early on that it's aware of itself, but also, like, it's one of those things where, like, I understood what it was doing even though it wasn't working for me.
Right.
You know, like, the excessive violence in it is there for a reason.
Yes.
You know, the whole, corporation taking over the police thing is there for a reason. But the excessive violence was funny and stuff, but it was, I don't know, the whole thing just felt a little on the nose for me.
Right. Well, you know what's interesting. Speaking about it being on the nose, I talked about Eddie about this real quick. That's my fit. I think that's when I got it. The dark humor when Ed 209 just obliterates the board member and just doesn't stop shooting him. Yeah. Like, just keep. And then Ronnie Cox just goes, that's probably a glitch. Like, that's all. Then nobody gives a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. Human life means nothing.
Nothing. This guy has just been shot to death in their high-rise office. And Ronnie Cox, who does not get enough credit for being such a great slime ball. He was great in Total Recall as a slime ball. Great at this. It's probably a glitch. Like, didn't give a fuck.
Complete sociopath.
But one thing I was telling Eddie, Cody, that about speaking about on the nose, everyone talks about how The Simpsons predicts everything, right? Can RoboCop get the mirror between the guy at City Hall and Trump is unmistakable. He loses re-election.
I want to recount.
He goes, I want to recount, and no matter what happens, I want my old job back. Like, how is that not what's happening in the White House right now? And again, what I loved about the on-the-nose stuff was like how when RoboCop rips that dude through the wall and throws him out of the window, remember the news cameras? They follow, like the news camera, they purposely follow his body as it's splat. They don't cut away. You see the cameraman rush up and follow him all the way down. I thought that was hilarious.
It's just showing, like, in this world where sort of capitalism has taken over completely.
Yes.
There's no regard for human life at all.
I mean,
in the media, in the police force, there's no regard at all.
Well, and then I appreciate the piece of like the fact that he'll say you're under arrest and then fuck someone up and then walk away.
Yes.
I appreciate that, and though at times I felt like it was directed by a 16-year-old.
Well, that's kind of all of his movies, right?
Well, I don't know how much of his stuff I've seen. I have to look it up.
He did Total Recall. He did Starship Troopers. Yeah. I believe he did Basic Instinct. I don't remember. It's one of those. Like,
didn't he do Showgirls?
He did Showgirls, too.
He did Basic Instinct, too.
He did Basic Instinct. He did Showgirl. Like, he's done, like... And I think
everything he does is a little tongue-in-cheek. It's all aware of itself.
It's all aware of itself, like especially Starship Troopers. That is almost a comedy.
Yes,
it's not even.
And again, there's no regard for human life.
Nothing in that. One of the things I thought was his biggest tongue-in-cheek wink to the camera was the scene where that woman is getting when RoboCop shoots a guy in the dick.
Yeah,
when she's getting sexually assaulted, and it's in the scummiest looking alleyway, whatever, and right behind him is a giant billboard that says the future has a silver lining. It's just like, okay, sure it does. I could not.
Such a bleak future.
Yes.
The RoboCop future.
Lee Iacocca Elementary School.
Oh, God. Just everything. Everything is just capitalism.
And then the Red Alert game is hilarious. The family nuking each other.
Yeah.
Like at the dinner table. Oh, man.
I have to say that I really, one thing, so I liked Kurtwood Smith as a villain a lot, and I wish he didn't disappear for such a long stretch.
Yes, that is a big problem I have with it too. I would have liked it if earlier in the film you find out he's in cahoots with OCP. You know what I mean? If you find out early on he is just a hired gun for Ronnie Cox's character, yes, 1,000%, because he is such. God, is he so good. I mean, everything he does in that, he is such a great like, the fucking guy pulls up in his brand new car that he steals, and just to be a dick, he just blows it like, oh, yeah, let's like, I mean, he is so fucking...
Did you guys notice that there's two, within, like, the span of, like, 10 minutes of each other, there's two scenes where two guys get completely riddled to death with bullets, and then someone says call an ambulance.
Yes. That was when the Mr. Kenny, the board guy's okay. Someone got a paramedic. he's just like got 80,000 bullets.
Well, Murphy gets shot in the fucking head, and and the paramedics come.
Yeah,
for
can
him.
we get a paramedic?
I think he might be gone.
Funny.
I love that. Another thing about the society is, remember when the father from Twin Peaks, who's one of the goons, when RoboCop grabs him at the dance club, and he pulls a gun on him. RoboCop knocks the gun away, and another dancer just catches it and just keeps dancing with a loaded gun. Like, there's all these little... what was the other news story where they said, like, a laser cannon orbiting Earth accidentally shot Santa Barbara and killed 2 presidents? And they just move on. 2 presidents lived there, which was sad. Anyway, here's... like, they just...
Right. But not only does the audience aware that there's no regard for human life, everyone in the movie, there's no regard.
There's that. What was the you anywhere. You see the greed. The suit guy who was Miguel Ferrer's buddy, the black dude with the glasses. Yeah. When Ronnie Cox gets murdered, you see him smiling. At the end, when RoboCop kills him, he's just smiling like, oh, I got a new job.
Like the only person, he's like, oh, no, I get promoted now.
Yeah.
But like the only person seems to care about is RoboCop for his family that he can't be connected to anymore.
Right.
That's the only human connection.
The only human
in the
connection.
Whole movie.
And maybe Lewis trying to have Murphy remember his humanity. Yeah. But that is
That's really it.
That's it. That is it.
I'll tell you one more minor complaint I have, which is I think they should have, if they wanted, the arc of like getting the memories back and like really feeling for the character and the family stuff. They really should have built that character up a little bit more in the first part of the movie because he's just a guy who arrives and then gets killed.
Gets slaughtered.
There's no kind of backstory or anything like that. So I think it's a little hard to dig into like really wanting to see that piece of it.
In the remake, they went a little farther into that.
They did.
They delved into that relationship a little bit more before he turned into RoboCop.
Did the remake have TJ Laser?
No.
I love the TJ Laser, the cop who just shoots people with a laser gun. Like, one thing also really, one thing that I just forgot how much I enjoyed about the movie, besides, the humor, but like just, the fact that all of the modern society just stops whatever they're doing to watch that guy go, I'd buy that for $1. Like, that's just how, like in the middle of a riot, that one goon is like, he breaks this thing so we can just watch it while people are rioting. He destroys the glass so we can raise the volume on the TV to watch this fucking war. I'd buy that for $1.
That catchphrase almost caught on in the mid-80s.
It almost did.
It
almost became a thing. It was, I'd buy that for $1. Is very weird. We lost Cody's camera.
Oh, no.
Are you still there, audio-wise, Cody?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fingers.
Was that his penis?
Was that his penis? He was going nuts, going crazy.
Guys, I need you guys to edit that out.
Yeah, we can edit that out.
Give me a second.
That is fine.
Put the farm bill away.
Jeez, Cody, the farm bill. Enough's enough, my friend.
How's the PlayStation looking?
Not good. Yeah, but I just remembered, like, how good of a. Another thing I was telling Cody about too is I loved how, and I'd forgotten it until I saw it again. Like, there is even Miguel Ferrer's character is an asshole. Like RoboCop's father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just a soulless, and that's what's interesting is like. You don't really feel bad for him when he dies.
No.
But even though that's one of the harshest deaths where, Kirkwood Smith just puts in that disc of Ronnie Cox going, hey, got you, motherfucker. That is one of the harshest, like, oh, geez, that's brutal.
But it's like everyone in this movie is like a video game character. It's like death doesn't mean.
Nothing matters. They don't care.
It's like, I'll just get another life later.
Right. I'll be back. None of them, like. God, like, it's just funny how there's no, like, the goons don't care about each other.
No. There's more of a sense of loss in slasher films.
There really is.
Like in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
There's more of a sense of loss.
Like the guy that he says, dead or alive, you're coming with me to. He has the worst death in the movie. The toxic waste and then just cut in half with the car explodes.
And that got one of the biggest laughs in the movie when I watched it in the theater.
That was when he just
feel like, what about, and then he explodes and everyone just fucking died laughing.
They died laughing because it's just like, oh, fuck. Like, that was fucking. And then I also loved just to and it lets you know how little regard anyone's going to have for anybody, but when they're killing Murphy and that one goon just goes, does it hurt? Does it hurt? Like, and after he shot his hand, they're putting 80 bullets in him. Like, it was, man, like. And then and again at the beginning too, before that when they're chasing the armored truck. And Kirkwood Smith goes, "You want to fly? You know how to fly, Johnny?" He just throws. He just throws the goon at the car. Like, man, it was so over the top on purpose, though.
Yeah.
And it makes me. I'm sure Showgirls is just a pile of shit. But knowing
Showgirls,
knowing how he is, I wonder if there's any of that redeemable nod, nod, wink, wink of his style in that movie.
My understanding is that there was just a documentary that was released about this. I didn't get to see it, but it's essentially saying that Showgirls was like an ahead of its time, really smart movie that was completely misunderstood.
Yeah.
And that's like the thesis of the documentary.
Oh, I get it. I see.
You can see that, huh?
I see where that movie was misunderstood.
Really?
Yeah, I remember seeing it because it was a huge thing when I was in college.
Right, everyone was talking about it.
We saw it in the theater.
It's the Saved by the Bell chick stripping. Who's not going to go and see this?
It's so over the top.
Right.
That it is. You can tell it's misunderstood because it got so much shit for being a bad film.
Right.
You're like, this was done on purpose.
Yes, right. And I think same thing with Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
That was, I mean...
That got a lot of flack when it first came out, and then over time, people were like, no, there's something else going on.
Have you seen Starship Troopers, Cody?
No, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen parts of it.
Like that, I remember the ending thinking, like, it was so sad when they wheel out the mother alien thing, and then Doogie Howser... It's scared, and then they all cheer. Like it was just like, oh fuck!
It's very creepy. It's like who's the bad guy?
Right? Who is evil in this? Oh fuck!
Here's I think my ultimate viewpoint on the movie that maybe won't track with some people. I don't even know what you guys will think.
Joseph
about it.
Santos, watch out! Here we go. Get your email ready.
No matter what I say, that guy's not gonna give it. So I feel like the movie it's a B movie trying to be a smarter movie than that, but I feel like when you try to like take smart commentary and filter it through a B movie, something gets lost.
No, yeah, I give you that. Yeah. I get it.
And it's the same thing about like trying to intentionally make a B movie that can sometimes go haywire, but especially when you're trying to like filter smart commentary in it. For me, it's just something about it just like doesn't compute as well as I think it can or should.
I get where you're. To me, though, I love the fact that they did this with that type of, because that is a B
I think
movie.
the only way to really kind of get across the message, the completely dehumanization of the future,
is to make it in that kind of a movie,
a B movie that's over the top, where violence is glorified and overdone.
It's just everywhere. It's just.
I think that's the only way to get that message. It's not the only way, but it's one way to get that message across.
Right,
is in the B movie and in this way.
If you're trying to make it a social commentary about violence, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Because otherwise you can perfectly. You can do it in other ways, but if you're trying to do that excessive violence thing, you're almost forced to be cornered into a B movie kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
With the amount of fucking squibs and stuff going on in this thing.
That thing is, I love it. I just watched it again. I'm like, and that's what, because again, I think it also different too, is like Eddie and I grew up in the era it was lampooning.
Yes.
Right? So we kind of saw, like, you get, like, everything about it was like, and it's funny, but it's like, it just tracked everything, because I'd buy that for $1. I mean, and then what? 2 years later, you have like, here, look at Christine Applegate's tits in every episode of Married with Children. Yeah. Like it just, it just like, yep, everything's just gonna keep devolving.
Almost down to the point where Detroit became this wasteland of violence.
Right.
I'm like,
it just, I mean, the fact that oh man. And so, do we grade and then trades, or do we trade and then grade?
We could grade and then trade.
All right. So, Cody, what grade do you give Paul Verhoeven's RoboCop?
So, when we grade on a threshold of like a B minus C plus threshold, right? So B minus means like a recommendation, but like the weakest recommendation. Yes. And then C plus means like we can't recommend it, but it just missed the mark.
Wait, would that be what they gave Alien 3? I don't know if you remember this, but Siskel and Ebert both gave it thumbs down, but they both said it's the best movie we've ever given a thumbs down to. Is that a C plus?
Yeah,
the best movie we've ever given a thumbs down to. Okay.
Yeah, if it's not a wholehearted recommendation, then yeah.
Right. Okay.
I would filter it under the C plus thing. I would have no interest in watching it again. Sure. However, I appreciate what it's doing. I understand what it's doing. Yep. It's just not for me.
Right. Yeah, right.
Makes sense.
That's it.
I give it an A.
I'm an A just because I loved it. Just because to me it just was, this is what we grew up with.
And it was
these kind of
like
movies.
We said at the beginning, this is the first film that introduced that sort of dark humor to me.
Yes, same here.
I got it.
I got the dark humor.
I got what they were doing.
I understood why my dad laughed when the guy exploded.
Like it was one of the first times I laughed at violence.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's kind of sick, but at the same time,
it's true though. Right,
it's one of the first times where I found a lot of this stuff funny instead of horrifying.
When was the first time you were turned on by it?
Just last week.
Last week. Yeah, I was. It was the over the top. It's like That's what to me. That's why I laugh so much at Itchy and Scratchy on The Simpsons.
Yeah,
because RoboCop bridged that. It built that bridge of like, let's just everything is so over the top and insane. But like, of course, the problem is no one got it.
Yeah.
So RoboCop ended up being a Saturday morning fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
RoboCop also showed up at Capital Combat in WCW.
Released Sting from a cage.
I was there.
You were there.
I was at that live
You were
show.
at that. You saw. I mean, so that's the other problem too. Is everybody missed it. You know what I mean? Like they said, well, fuck it. It's a huge movie, so let's just turn this into a thing for kids.
Well, that's what they did with Rambo.
Rambo too. They had Rambo cartoons.
Rambo First Blood Part 2 was ultra violent, and then it became a toy line, a cartoon, and a video game.
It's just nobody got it.
Nobody got what that was.
So trades. Who do we?
Sergeant Slaughter becomes RoboCop, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You have to have Sergeant Slaughter as RoboCop.
But would he just the bullets just bounce off him anyway?
He wouldn't need to be a RoboCop,
right?
Right? He would just be Sergeant Slaughter. In Detroit.
I think so.
So I don't know because I've only seen 30 minutes of G.I. Joe and I don't know many of the character names, but I would almost take anyone on the roster in order to see someone in G.I. Joe get their dick shot off.
I wouldn't mind seeing Sprinter getting his dick shot off.
What if it was slaughtered? They just haven't got that way. My dick. Fuck.
You goddamn maggot.
You son of a bitch. Eddie's disease. You shot my dick off. I like Cody. So, Cody, you would trade the rapist who got his dick shot off with anyone you saw.
With anyone.
Anyone you saw at the beginning of
G.I. Joe.
I would just have Sergeant Slaughter walk around. They could just maybe he hit his head really hard and he forgot who he was. Right? Like that's the only damage that came from all the shotgun blasts. He just forgot who he was. Well, there we go. What do we do next?
We got to figure that out.
We got to figure that out because are we sitting now? You haven't seen Scrooged, right? And you haven't seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I remember those were the two we were for sure going to do for the week of Christmas and the week before Christmas.
Okay.
Do we still go holiday for all of December? Because that's what we're looking at right now. Cody, what other holiday films have you never seen? Nightmare Before Christmas?
Home Alone.
The
Santa Claus.
Home Alone.
The Santa
Claus.
Santa
Claus.
Santa Claus 2.
Santa Claus 2. Jingle All the Way with Arnold.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Seen that one? Okay. Shit.
Miracle on 34th Street.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Let me look up. I'm looking up Rotten Tomatoes best Christmas movies of all time, and I'm going to see what I haven't seen.
We're for sure doing Scrooged and Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, we'll do those.
All right.
Yeah.
Those.
I haven't seen, though I don't know that I want to go this old with
The
it.
Grinch.
The Grinch.
I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life or Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, really?
Should we do those? Do we start with the oldies?
I could do Miracle. I mean, It's
Maybe
Wonderful Life.
one of them.
It's Wonderful Life is one of my favorite films.
Well, Cody. Let's do both. Come on, let's go. Let's take it back to the old school because we're
They
all
have
fools.
Edward Scissorhands listed. I've never seen that.
What the fuck? Okay, It's a Wonderful Life. Edward Scissorhands. That's it. Okay,
George Bailey traded for Edward Scissorhands.
Okay, is Edward Scissorhands a Christmas movie?
I don't. There's snow.
They have it listed.
I
on
guess.
Rotten Tomatoes
Fuck
as
it. We'll
one.
call it. Let's do it.
Right.
Okay, so next, Good Willow Hunting. What are we doing first? Let's do Edward Scissorhands and It's a Wonderful Life, yeah?
Okay.
And then we do Scrooged
And Christmas Vacation.
and National Lampoon's. Let's do National Lampoon. I want to end on Scrooged,
Okay.
if that's all right.
Okay.
Because that might be my favorite Christmas movie,
Okay.
I think, is...
I do have an It's a Wonderful Life if you want, because we seem to be having an 80s thing going on here.
Oh.
I have not seen Gremlins.
Okay.
Okay, I don't
So
know.
that
How
could
about
also
It's a
be-
Wonderful Life Gremlins? Is that good? It's a Wonderful Life in Gremlins, and then Scrooged and National Lampoon. Or do we do Scrooged and Edward Scissorhands? That's tough.
That's tough.
Cody, your thoughts?
Haven't
If you want to
seen
keep
Batman
it the
Returns?
80s.
Have you seen the first Batman with Nicholson as a Joker?
No, not all the way through.
That's
Shit. Is that... Fuck, do we do Batman Returns? You've seen Die Hard, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So do we do Batman Returns? Shit, this is going to be... We got to make these decisions
So many
now. We're on the
options.
gun. We're under the gun here.
Let's do Batman Returns and Scrooged,
Okay.
and then Christmas Vacation
Yeah.
and Gremlins.
Is that what we're going to do?
I think so. Those
All
are
right.
4 good, solid movies.
So
right?
we start with Christmas Vacation, Gremlins.
Yeah.
And then we do Batman Returns, Scrooge. Cody, you probably wouldn't hurt to see the first Batman with Michael Keaton beforehand, too.
Yeah, another situation where I own both of those movies.
And then guess what?
But I haven't seen
Guess
them.
what? We could talk about that Batman in January.
Yeah.
So we could kill 2 birds right there.
Go.
So there we go. So next, so what's it going to be now? It's Gremlins and what? And National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Right. And the 2 comedies.
Yeah.
Gremlins, another dark comedy.
Yeah, Gremlins is a dark comedy.
That was before RoboCop, wasn't it?
Yeah, but to me that was more of I didn't get the humor in it. The way I got RoboCop.
Same here. But the one thing that was my dad and my mom and my aunt were laughing at Phoebe Cates' monologue, and I didn't get why until I saw it later. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
But Gremlins, I was sort of like, that was a horror movie to me.
Yeah. All right, so this is it. Gremlins and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Thank you all for tuning in.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Happy
everybody.
Thanksgiving. We should have opened with that.
We should have, but we can't now.
I know. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. Don't be stupid. You don't need to wait in line for anything with the national pandemic or global pandemic raging. So just order your Black Friday shit online.
Be
Those
safe.
PS5s, they're going to be there.
They're going to be there. Right?
You'll get them eventually. So you don't have to.
Is
That's
yours
why
there?
I'm looking online. Now I'm only doing online. I ain't fucking around. All right. Well, be good, everybody. We love you guys. You know where to find us. Come find us. Bye.